Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on Dante Must Die difficulty, and this is my SSS-Rank guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Mission 03, and it is entitled The White Wing. So, the stylish points that you need for this chapter, 10,000. The clear time is 25 minutes, and as always, the red orb count is greater or equal to 95%. So in the previous video, I mentioned that we were going to talk about the Red Queen combos. There are only 4 of them, so it won't take too long. And these are A, B, C, and D, his combos. Combo A is Y, 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 Y. Combo B is Y, delay, Y. Combo C is Y, Y, delay, Y, 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 Y. And then combo D is Y, 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 delay, Y. So I also wanted to mention, just in case you want to compare what your scheme is to mine for the controls, I have attack on Y, I've got the gun on left trigger, I've got exceed on right trigger. Now, a lot of people put the gun on right trigger and exceed on left trigger, but for me it just works out better, just because I've tried both and I've got really used to having the gun on the left trigger and the exceed on right trigger. That's the way I prefer it. So if you aren't too comfortable, give my scheme a chance, and maybe if that doesn't work for you, revert back to how you had it. Or, there are other choices. There are a lot of buttons on the control pad, and those are the main attacks, or excuse me, the main moves that you would want mapped to the control. The other ones are pretty simple. But anyway, now we're going to be fighting a frost. 2 of them, in fact, up here. You don't need to smash any of the poles that just give out green orbs. I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, I'm going to start out with a normal caliber with exceed level 3. So, exceed level 3 caliber to do that, and then fire the charge shot level 3 at him, and then go for a grab. That combination of attacks should kill the frost. And I've tried doing an X shuffle on the first frost, but what happens is you just don't get enough time before he hits you, because you do that double trigger activation and it does this burst and it eats up time. It doesn't stagger the frost, and it just is more better. Or excuse me, can I talk? Jeez fucking Louise. It just seems a little bit better just to do the X shuffle on that first one. But when you're playing this game, you want to use the camera when you have a camera in a room. Not all rooms have the ability to have a camera. Oh, by the way, once you've cleared those 2 frosts, you want to come back the way you came, and then there will be 3 red orbs that weren't here before that now do appear over here. So if you miss these, you still will get the 95% of the orbs if you get every other orb. So they don't count so much against you that if you miss those, you can't get the red orb requirement. But I just want to make sure that I show everybody everything. And we're going to be dealing with more frost in the future, so just remember that. So among these 2 ruins are orb caches. You cannot miss any orb caches and expect to get the 95% for the red orbs. Okay? So now we're going to be going in here and smashing a bunch of chairs, so I have a moment to talk about what you do and do not need to smash. Of course, anything that you smash that gives you absolutely nothing, not a green orb, not a red orb, you don't need to smash it. Anything that you smash that just gives you a green orb, you don't need to smash that. You can if you want to get health, but you don't need to smash it, and it does not count against your red orb count. Now, some items in this game give out green and red. There's going to be a couple of those coming up in the next room. You have to get those ones, because those ones, even though it's a green orb, you're also getting a red one too, so that's going to count against you. And always, you have to get those orb caches, and just every other red orb that is on a map. And of course, if you go into an area that the game has not designated is your correct route, you will be held accountable for every orb that you don't smash or collect in that room. So if you follow my walkthrough, that will never happen to you. If you follow it exactly as I go, you'll never have that problem. So if you're worried about that, or if you have problems finding the path, just follow my videos, and I know exactly which way to go and which ways to never deviate. See the door right over there? And an innocent person would just come along and maybe go in that door on accident. But if you're trying to get the red orbs, you're going to have to smash every item in that room. That's the room that has a table and a lot of chairs and plates and candelabra. Or excuse me, candelabra. Isn't that how to say it? Candelabra, as I believe how to pronounce it. Those tall pieces of furniture that you put candles into the holders of. Yeah, candelabra. I'm sorry. Sometimes in the haste while you're talking, you forget how to pronounce things. But do you see what this is here? You have to hit these items, even though there are bars that prevent you from going into that area. That still counts as being in the same room. So you have to smash these, which is kind of silly in my opinion, because does it feel that way to you? That they're trying to block off an area so that you don't get to an area in chapter 4, but I just felt that maybe there shouldn't be anything over there anyway, because it's just kind of awkward that you would have to shoot and try to snatch those items, as it were, to get those. But anyway, we should be coming up on the 4th of the 4 basilisks up here. These dick dogs up here. Charge shot level 3 should do the trick, but if he's double triggered, it's not going to kill him just with one charge shot level 3. So you're going to have to integrate other combinations. Now we're coming up. This is always one of those chapters where I ask myself at the beginning, will I fall to the torture chamber room? That is the question. And I didn't. I did this chapter twice. The first time I missed a bench that I will talk about at the end of the last fight, and I got 99% of the orbs, so I had to redo this chapter, even though I didn't really have to, but you know me, I'm doing it a certain way. But in this room, you've got a ton of the gladiuses, and you have some of the scarecrow arms and legs. What you want to do, though, is keep as many of the gladiuses off the screen at one time. Use the charge shot level 3 with the double trigger. So activate double trigger and then shoot your charge shot level 3. You'll shoot the charge shot level 3, and also he'll throw 5 summon swords. You have no participation in throwing the summon swords, or excuse me, summon swords, I guess it is. But what happens is that just 5 of them will go attack enemies, and they'll only outright those. Oh, you fucker! Do you see that? I told you about that, didn't I, in the first video? If you're streaking into them and they're attacking, they just hit you. So that's how it feels. And if you're worried about getting the stylish points is quite high on this chapter, 10,000. I didn't get much more than 10,000. So if you want to consider doing extra fights, that's your prerogative. But over here, I'll tell you exactly when to go. Right? Wait till these two line up. Wait till they line up and then go. And then on the next one over here, when the third one closest to you goes, just go really quickly. And then you want to go right now. Go, go, go. And then right over here, you want to make sure that these are lined up as much as possible, because that can be a very frustrating section, because if you fall, it will lock you into a fight with scarecrow arms and legs. And it will do that until you do all of the platforming properly, and it's sort of a punishment from Satan. It's awful. But my problem was, the main problem that you can have in that torture chamber sequence up there is just not knowing when to do it. And you can't hesitate either, because any minute hesitation is going to cause those grim grip points to go while they're waiting for you to get them. So be careful. So now we have one of the 2 optional frost fights in this mission. I'm going over here because it can put one of the frost off screen while I deal with the one that comes over to me via his teleportation move. So the frost likes to throw projectiles at you and freezes you. If you have double trigger, you can get out of it. If you don't, you can't. So it's one of those situations where you have to take damage and just stand there, and it's frustrating. And these are hard fights because there isn't much in the way of camera manipulation over here. I don't think you can turn the camera at all right here. Do you see where we're at? So this is the only thing you could do. Can you reset the camera? Yeah, you probably can reset the camera, but there's no moving the camera freely. So it's quite difficult because those frosts are aggressive, and with the with the way that you need to do things in this game, namely keeping enemies off the screen to pacify as much as they will, is difficult when you're in a situation where you can't turn the camera off, folks. So when you come over here, they will be spawning right over here, and when they put that ice shelter around them, they're regenning life. So the quicker you get them out of that, the less they will get back for health. And if you're near to them and they jump up in the air, what they like to do is this ground AoE. They're hoping that you fall down and land in it. So what you need to do on that is jump out of the way of that, or activate double trigger, and maybe do an Excalibur out of the way of it. Some of the moves that you really want to get to know, the roulette spin is great. It's an aerial move, which is done by pressing in the air Y, delay Y, and even though you lose a little bit of height, that final Y pushes you up and gives you more height. That and the caliber. The caliber has so many functions, it's not even funny. Not even mentioning the times that you fight, the final boss, Sanctus. Okay, next room over here is going to be a gallery with chairs and coats of arms and other things to shatter. Be careful though, because sometimes the objects that you need to smash are hidden in obscurity. Also, you can grab Buster grab a lesser enemy like this, hold him out in front of you. You can taunt while you're holding him, and you can also use him as a shield, like a meat shield from Gears. You can use him as a shield, put him right in front of you, and the other enemies will attack, but they'll hit the guy that you're holding, and you gain double trigger pretty good for that. But it's kind of risky, in my opinion. It's usually never a good idea to do those lengthy grabs on the ground either, but when you activate double trigger, he does it faster. So that's one of the reasons I did it there. Oh, I love that taunt. If you don't know what taunting is in this game, what its function is, it's sort of like another move. It's to help you build style when you're not around an enemy to attack him. And you can't just spam it like anything else in this game. This game does not let you just spam stuff. You're rewarded for doing different things, doing different combinations of moves, and you're punished for not doing it. And the best thing to do is to use the moves that the Exceed brings out in the sword too. That will build your double trigger up even more. And when you use double trigger with that, it goes up exponentially. Well, I guess not exponentially. We don't have any like hard data in front of us, do we? Shit. We've got a new enemy coming up. It's the Bianco Angelos over here. These guys have a defense in front of them with their shield. They've got a really long weapon that can hit you out of the air if you're jumping around. So what you need to do on these guys is jump behind them and then grab them from behind them. Grab them from behind, activate double trigger, or do double trigger first and then grab them, and then you can use the buster to break their shield, but it takes too many busters to do that. So what I prefer to do is do Exceed moves into the shield or charge shot level 3. Like the charge shot level 3 is just it's so powerful. Also, there's a chair or a bench on the floor down here that got destroyed in the chaos of the battle. So I don't think it's still around, but just remember that there is a bench down here. I'll show you in the next video. The corner that I was just in, did you see that corner? That was the little corner that had the bench. There are 3 benches on the top up here and then 1 down there. So make sure that you have a really good look down here once the battle's over. I'll show you where the bench was. The corner right where I am now, there's a bench there. But either the enemies destroyed it or I destroyed it. I'm not sure. If an enemy destroys something that you need to be hitting, it just counts for what you need. So it's not like you're, penalized for that. It's not like that. That would be horrible if they did that to people. Okay, and then there's one bench right over here. And then there we go. Bob's your uncle. Buck's your uncle. Buckfucker. Mission 03 taken care of. I like chapters that don't end in boss fights. Those are some of my favorites. We've got a frog to deal with at the end of the next video, though. So let's take a look at here what we have. The clear time was 17 minutes and 59 seconds. That's pretty good, because if you recall, didn't we have 25 minutes to do that? And then the stylish points. I'm a little concerned here because you need 10,000 stylish points to get an S. But look how many I had. I only had 998 more than 10,000. So that tells me that that's pretty strict. Pretty strict indeed. And then as for the orbs, we did find everything. So that has been mission 3. I will see you in 04. Please take care.